All right. Happy Friday, everybody. We are going to go over rectangular prisms today. As you know, I'm not here today, so make sure if I'm going too fast or if you need any help that you pause the video, rewind it when you need to, maybe watch it again if you're stuck on certain things. All right, reminders, builders are due Monday, not today, so you don't need to worry about that. The test review is due Thursday. Your test is next Friday, and then STAR will be May 12th. Don't forget to do your Imagine math lessons. So, volume of rectangular prisms. So in 5th grade, you learned to solve the volume of a rectangular prism by multiplying the length times the width times the height. In 6th grade, the volume of a rectangular prism is the product of the base area and its height. So you'll need to know this formula for STAR especially, because they'll just sometimes give you just the base area and ask you to find the height, or they'll give you the base area and the height and find the volume. And if you only learn length times width times height, you won't be able to solve some of the problems. So remember, base area is it is length times width. So that's what the base area is. And we call that the area of the base. So here's a figure of a rectangular prism and the length, the width, and the height. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example here. So here is a rectangular prism. We're going to first find the volume of the base area, or the area of the base. So this would be our base. So if I were to kind of draw a hypothetical base there, this would be my base right here. So base area would be length times width, which is 5 times 5. And then the height, this would be our height. Our height would be 10. So 25 times 10. So let's do the base area over here. This is the base area on the right side over here. So the length would be 5. The width would be 5. So that would be 25 centimeters squared. So let's go back, fix that, make that 25. And then 25 times 10 is 250. 250 centimeters squared because it's air cubed, because it is volume. So that's another thing. Don't forget to cube it. That is volume, so that's going to be cubic units, not square units. So let's take a look at another example. So you're finding the base area. You're starting out with the base area, so here would be our base. If it's a rectangular prism, just use the bottom as the base. So the base area would be length times width, which is 7 times 7. You can label these length, width, height. So that gives us 49 centimeters squared. So we have the base area, 49 centimeters squared, times the height, which is 7 centimeters. And so we do 49 times 7. 49 times 7. 343 centimeters cubed. All right, and remember, always slow this down if you need to, or pause it to make sure you get all the notes correctly. Let's look at a few examples due on our own. So we got, always write the formula first. So volume is equal to base area. So it's a capital B because it's the area base. If it's a lowercase b, then it could be just one little base. But when it's a capital B, it means the area of the base. So base times height. I'm going to go ahead and solve for the area of the base. And then my height is 2. So we got length times width. Here's my height. So area of the base would be 4 times 1, which is equal to 4. Then we're going to plug that into our formula. So 4 times 2, which is equal to 8 inches cubed. So 8 inches cubed should be your answer. And you can check that by just doing length times width times height, which would be 4 times 1 times 2, which is 8. Same thing here. We're going to go through this tedious process so you can get the hang of what base area is. So here would be my length, my width, my height. And our base area is length times width. It's the area of a rectangle. So base area is equal to 4 times 7, which is equal to 28. My height is 2. So volume is equal to the base area, which is 28, times 2, which is equal to 56 meters cubed. Very simple. And another simple one where it's just basically length times width times height, but we're doing it a different way now. So we got volume is equal to base area times height. Here's our length, our width, our height. Our base area is 5 times 6, which is equal to 30. Our height is 9. So now we just plug it in the formula. Volume is equal to 30 times 9, which is 270 feet cubed. So 270 feet cubed. Once again, pause it, slow it down if you need to, rewind it if you need to, but make sure you get all these notes. Make sure you do it the way I'm doing it, because even though you can do length times width times height, you will need to know base area times height. All right, a few more. Make sure you pause the video now and go ahead and do these on your own, and then watch mine and make sure you're doing it correctly. So we have volume is equal to base area times height. Base area would be, here it's a little different because our side, well, okay. So if I were to write this, this is 1, it's the same as this, so that would be 1 as well. So those two are 1. So our base area, in this case, would be length, which is 10. This would be width, so 10 times 1, which is 10. And then this would be our height. So our height is 4. Volume is equal to 10 times 4, base area times height, which is 40 millimeters cubed. Okay? Make sure you pause it again. Do number 5 on your own. See if you can get it right. So volume is equal to base area times height. Pretty simple one. Length, width, height. Base area is equal to 2 times 3, which is 6 inches squared. Our height is 10 inches. So volume is equal to 6 times 10, which is 60 inches cubed. 60 inches cubed. And then finally, our last example here, we got length, width, height. Volume is equal to base area times height. Our base area is 15 times 10, which is equal to 150 yards squared. And then our height is 12. So we're going to do volume is equal to 150 times 12. And you may need to do the math on this one. So 150 times 12, 0. 2 plus 1 is 3. Cross that out, do the next row here. Put our place value holder. Then we have 0, 5, 1. So 1,800 yards cubed. All right. So far, it's pretty easy. Once again, pause them. Make sure you can do these on your own. So we got 5 times 3 times 2. Volume is equal to base area times height. The base area here would be 5 times 3. Oops, base area, not volume. So base area is 5 times 3, which is 15. Our height is 2. So our volume is 15 times 2, base area times height, which is 30 inches cubed. Make sure you leave yourself enough room to do all the problems. All right, we got length, width, height. Volume is equal to base area times height. So base area is, oops, keep doing volume. Base area is 20 times 5. So our base is 100 feet squared. Our height is 2. Fill in the formula, 100 times 2. And we get 200 feet cubed. And our last example on this page, we got our width, our length, our height. Volume is base area times height. Our base area is length times width, which is 10 times 6, which is 60. Our height is 7. Our volume is 60 times 7, which is 6 times 7, add a 0, and we get 420 millimeters cubed. Once again, pause it, rewind it if you need to. Do a few more here. A little bit harder math. This is more 7th grade because of the harder numbers. You got rational numbers here. So we got volume. You're going to have to write a little smaller so you have room. So we got our length, which is, oh, so we're going backwards. So they give us the volume. We're going to use the height. And, well, actually, we'll do length times width times height here because it'll be a little easier. So length, volume, I'm going to go ahead and do volume is equal to length times width times height because they're asking us to find the width, length. And we have the height and we have the width. But remember, this is not on your star chart. So if that's too hard for you, just think of 1 times, so it would look like this. Length times 1, well, they gave us the volume, so we can fill that in. So our volume, which is 39.48, so 39.48 equals our length times our width times our height, which is 8.4. So our volume, 39.48, is equal to 8.4 times the length. So now we need to divide by 8.4 to solve for L, to get rid of this. So we have 39.48 divided by 8.4. It's a pretty tricky one. 84 does not go into 39, so we know it's going to be a decimal. Oh, actually, we need to move the decimal first. So let's redo this. I missed that 8.4. I thought it was 84. So 8.4, and it's 39.48. So we're going to move the decimal over 1 so we can divide this easier. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it so it's a little easier. So we have 84, and it's 394.8. So 84 doesn't go into 39, but it does go into 394. 84 times 4 is, I'm sorry, 80 times 4 is 320. So let's try times 5. So 84 times 5, 0, 2, so that's too big. So we'll use 4. 84 times 4. So we got 336, 74. Borrow here. So we got 8, and that's an 8 minus 3, which is 5. Bring down the 8. So let's see, 80 times 7 is 560. So let's try 7. 84 times 7. 56, 588. Perfect. So 4.7 gives us no remainder. So therefore, our length is equal to 4.7 meters. Long one, but not too hard if you know how to divide. So once again, pause it, make sure you understand all that. Rewind it if you need to. If not, let's keep going. So here they gave us the volume again, so we need to find the height. And we're going to do length times width times height again, if you want to. Actually, we can just do base area times height, because they do give us the base. Our base area is equal to 7.5, or 7.5, times 3.75, or 3 3/4. So let's go ahead and figure that out. Our height we don't know. So 7.5 times 3.75. Now we just do a multiplication, 35, 37, 3, 15, plus 3 is 18. Put our place value holder. Let's work with rings. Times 7 times 5 is 35. So 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 is 52. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 5 is 26. 7 plus 5 is 12. Add 1, 10 plus 1, 2 plus 6. And then we have 1, 2, 3 place values. 1, 2, 3. So 28.125. So our base area is 28.125. We don't know the height, but we do know the volume. So let's keep going. We're going to definitely need some room for this. We're trying to find the height. The volume is, let's see, what was the volume? 56 1/4. So basically 56.25. 56.25. All right, so volume is equal to base area times height. So 56.25, which is our volume, is equal to our base area, 28.125, which is our base area, and then our height, times our height, which is what we're trying to find. So we've got quite a bit of a division to do here. So we're dividing both sides by 28.125. That cancels this out, so we just have h. 56.25 divided by 28.125. Wow. So we got a lot of decimals to move here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have to add a 0. All right, I'm going to rewrite it. Woo, man. It's a tough one. So we have 28,125. And we've got 56,250. I sure hope it's divided by 2. Or times 2. And it looks like it is. So you can do that mentally. 28 times 2 is 56. 125 times 2 is 250. Thankfully, we didn't have to do any math there. So our answer is 2. Our height is equal to 2 feet. 2 feet. Woo! That could have been really hard. Really hard division. But it ended up being pretty easy. Make sure you slow that down if any of that was confusing, because I know I'm going through this pretty fast for those of you that are going pretty quick. Otherwise, you can just pause it and make sure you're understanding. All right, last problem on this page. So we've got our volume, but we don't have the base area. We have the length and the height. So I'm going to do volume is equal to length times width times height. They give us our volume, 189. We got our, everything's already up there, so I don't need to rewrite it all. So 189 is equal to 9W times 7. So 9 times W times 7, which is 63 times W. So 189 is equal to 63W. So we're going to divide both sides by 63 to get rid of this. Now we have just W, so 189 divided by 63. Looks like it's going to be 3 times. 60 times 3 is 180. 3 times 3 is 9, so 189. Not too hard. So our answer is going to be 3 yards. 3 yards. All right, lots of work on that page. All right, determine the volume of a rectangular prism with length 9 meters, width 4 meters, and height 5 meters. So this time they didn't draw us a picture, but we know that volume is equal to base area times height. Our base area is length times width, and our length is 9. Our width is 4. So we're going to do 9 times 4, which is 36. We know our height, which is 5. So volume is equal to 36 times 5. So 30 times 5 is 150. 6 times 5 is 30. So 150 plus 30 is 180 meters cubed. All right, number 14. What is the volume of a rectangular prism with length 6, width 3, and height of 2? Same thing, base area times height. Our base area is length times width. I'll write it out just in case you forgot. There you go. So 6 times 3, which is 18. And I'll write out the units just in case you forgot that's area. And then our height is 2 yards. We're going to multiply those two together. And we get 36 yards cubed. All right. I know I went through that pretty fast, so make sure you rewind any of the parts that you need help on. Once you are done getting all your notes, make sure you work on Imagine Math or your builders that are due, but I know all of you guys can do Imagine Math, so just make sure you're quiet, listening to the substitute, and if you have any questions, make sure you reach out on Canvas or to the substitute. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all later.